You hear me?
Yeah, so I'm trying to find my piece of paper that had a question on it. In terms of maybe escaping the 9 to 5 race,
Yeah.
what techniques have you kind of used to help you kind of break out of that system and be able to focus and lead on that entrepreneurial lifestyle?
Yeah. So first, I think um, maybe I can share about my story because I've been fortunate to not really work ever in my life. So when I was in my bachelor degree in college, I got a car accident and I was a football player. So my lawyer did a really good job defending me so that I can get compensated, yeah, about the car accident. So I received like a good amount of money, and that's why actually I had to trust to learn about investing and how to protect that money at that time. So yeah, I only worked for 3 months in a wealth management company selling life insurance products, and I really hated that. It was horrible because we were selling bad products and only the insurer um, was making money on it, like a lot of financial product actually. And so, yeah, I didn't really um, escape the 9 to 5 from the 9 to 5. So it would be a lie to say that I have the solution to escape. I don't hear you.
Sorry, thank you. And then in terms of maybe kind of the more entrepreneurial lifestyle you're living, talk to me more about that in terms of even though you had the opportunity to work in the 9 to 5, what was it about that that made you want to pursue that?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Philosophically, I feel like you cannot reach your full potential as a human being without entrepreneurship. So I really go that far in terms of the philosophy of it. Um, if someone is always telling you what to do, and you're part of a big organization, you are only a small piece in a big machine, and you cannot express yourself. You cannot be authentic. And I love personal development. I love uh, energy and everything. And so I use the scale of vibration. Have you already see this scale of vibration? Okay.
No, I haven't. No.
But basically, the highest vibration possible is the vibration of authenticity. So it's really important to um, got to a place where you can be yourself truly, and entrepreneurship brings that. But more on, but it's not enough to go through all of the the difficulty of being an entrepreneur. So it wasn't enough. What had been enough was my deep desire to help people um, invest, because I understood at that time the pain of inflation um, with my research and everything. So yeah, I made that my life mission, and it wasn't even about making money at the beginning.
And then that actually leads me to my next question. You mentioned kind of that what drives you, but if you could maybe expand on that a bit more, what is the why that drives the vision that you have?
Yeah, the why is always, I think for me, has been to understand the pain of the financial system, the pain of money, traditional currency, and all the consequences of this on the life of the people. Like everything is linked to money some way. And I dive really, really deep into this knowledge, and you will go deep into this knowledge with the Fiat Standard, the second book of Saifedean Ammous. He explained everything about the fiat debt system, they call it, and um, how the system is basically killing people. And so I was really pessimistic about life in general, and Bitcoin gave me like hope for the future, like a possibility of a way out, an exit, right? And so this became my why, even though I don't want to link my being to just an activity. I'm not just a Bitcoin educator. Um, didn't really want to be that. So yeah, my why would be to just inspire people, give more hope, give more, um, yeah, just be a good person for the world. Sounds cringe, but that's what I'm about.
Okay, perfect. And then I guess one of the challenges you kind of have is within the finance space, within the crypto, Bitcoin, whatever space out there. There's a lot of gurus out there, a lot of people who will tell you that they're experts and this is 100% going to happen. Um, and there are a lot of opportunities, potentials for mistakes.
Yes.
If I'm someone who, or if there's someone out there listening who maybe doesn't know where to start, what are maybe some simple steps they can follow, or be places to go follow instead that are a bit more authentic in that aspect?
I think the first step will be to start buying your first fraction of Bitcoin, even if it's 50 euro or 100 euro, because somehow our brain is made that in a way that if you don't invest or if you don't put your money into this thing, you will never really pay attention. You will never go deeper. So, for example, I lost when I started crypto, I lost 5,000 euro in crypto, and I was a student back then, so 5,000 was a lot of money for me, and that's kind of this pain of losing, uh, like woke me up to, okay, I need to be financially educated, otherwise I will lose every time. So yeah, I would say that, and I would say also to not have a guru, not have a model, to not um, yeah um, put anyone on a pedestal, and that you can literally know um, enough uh, to make your own decision. But if basically the education comes first, right? Even if you have to trust someone, it's better to have as much information as possible on the subject and the person. Otherwise, yeah, the risks are too huge. I don't know if I answered the
No,
question.
no, I did. And then, sorry. And if someone is looking at maybe the space, the whole crypto space in general,
Yeah.
they might be a bit skeptical. I mean, you have FTX, the disaster that happened a few years ago, that many people are still suffering from the effects of that now. Why is education so important in the space?
Yeah. Um, so for me, big difference is Bitcoin, and like you can see my shirt. It's Bitcoin only, and it's self custody, right? Because FTX, of course, it's not self custody. It's the opposite. It's custodial. You put your money into a platform, and so this is not your crypto. This is not your Bitcoin. The only way to have them is to have your own hardware wallet. So education is key, but yeah, that's a hard question. How do you differentiate the good info from the bad info? I think you you just go talk to people, and for example, the way you did it, you jump on a Zoom call, the Zoom call from our community, and you spent 1 hour with us. And so just with this 1 hour, you kind of felt, I don't know, maybe it's your question now. It's my question now.
No, I mean, for
How
me,
do you feel about the Zoom call?
I mean, for me, as someone who is, I won't lie, very was very, I should say, skeptical in terms of what the space is, the opportunities it presents, the opportunities and the risk it presents.
Yeah.
I had to kind of think back in terms of what is the person behind the screen kind of telling me, and what's their why, what's motivating them, and to hear the stories of how you guys got into the space and how passionate you are about the space and the education purposes as well, more so than the financial, but the educational piece I thought was very easy for me to walk into that environment. Um, I think I myself have always thought I was always doing the right thing. You do your pension, you do your stocks, the steady
Yeah.
stocks, you play it very safe. And I used to think of it as, oh, I can make an X% a year. I'm doing fantastic. And then it wasn't until I went on the Appel website where I was able to kind of track what a certain amount of money that I have invested is worth over the years, and see that the impact of that inflation has on the original value, and realize that the gains or the wins that I thought I had, which were much, much smaller than what I initially had thought in mind. So this can open me up to the possibility of, well, what's the cure? If that's the problem, what's the solution? And to have been informed of, I guess, big or re-informed of Bitcoin again in that space, with greater education this time, because we've all heard of Bitcoin, but I never had the full-on sit-down educational piece, like step by step, and how it linked not just to the fiat system, but also in the way in which we engage and the way our psychology of money. That's one of the big things that shifted for me as well. So I think for me, that's kind of some of the big takeaways that I learned just from an hour and a few minutes in a Zoom call. So yeah, I definitely.
Oh, I lose you. I've lost you, brother. I'm losing you. Just a second. Mm-mm-mm. I really know that you want me down. Oh, for you. And that don't. Yeah, we haven't lost it. Good. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it was still recording even after you froze. I don't know if you still have it or not, though.
Yeah, yeah, I have it.
Perfect. Yes, I kind of just finished up on um, talking about just educational piece for me and how I bring it all together, kind of tied the loop.
Maybe just in terms of jumping on our Zoom call, what have been for you the main differentiator between us and our quote unquote competitors in terms of shitcoin, altcoin, and other crypto gurus?
For me, it was a weird blend because normally in other communities, it's the get rich quick mentality. So let me sell you on something and this is how we get rich. This is how I made 50,000 last month or whatever. Uh, so that's kind of what you find a lot in that space. And instead what I found was the traditional mindset of, I guess, the S&P in terms of the forward thinking, but the traditional mindset in an environment that's more short-term thinking. And to me, that's a unique blend that I hadn't really seen, in having that future perspective on such a fast-paced environment that is crypto. So that definitely that unique blend was what kind of added a bit more to the credibility and to the comfort in what was being said, and was definitely a big differentiating factor across what I've seen elsewhere.
That's amazing, and that's what you're gonna learn as well, because you purchased the book from the books from Saif Amos, and one of his main concept is the concept of time preference. And so time preference is the ability to see short term or long term. And basically, just to make it really simple, when you start investing in Bitcoin, and not even start investing, but just start learning about Bitcoin, your entire perception of life expand. So it gives you the possibility to see more like more long term, like 5, 10, 20 years, where before that you only see the next 6 months, the next few months, right? So yeah, you're gonna love that for sure. And
And I'm
thank
looking
you
forward to it.
very much.
I'm looking forward to the journey.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Like this is really so good when someone says, "Okay, I just purchased the book," or no matter the book, but a Bitcoin book. Like I'm going to educate myself on the subject. Like, and I think that's also one of the main differentiator. Like, I don't know if there is a lot of crypto trainer that is happy for you to spend the next month reading about a book.
No, I think again another differentiating factor there is there are resources to obviously help you and steer you in the right direction, but I think there's also kind of a promotion in terms of self accountability. So in terms of doing your bit as well, because that's how you end up in a situation like FTX where everything blows up and you're kind of caught with your pants down. Whereas if you have the educational background, you know about not having everything exposed on exchange, using cold wallets, kind of implementing the strategies that you guys have discussed, you're less exposed to those kind of events.
Yeah, and I think that's the main value proposition of Bitcoin is don't trust, verify. And so this kind of mantra that we learn and we integrated in us, right, is that we are giving people freedom. So this is the opposite of crypto and exchanges, FTX, Binance, all of that, or other crypto gurus where they sell you something that is where you become dependent on this guru, you become dependent of this platform, you become dependent of even when you invest in the S&P 500 or stocks, you are dependent on a broker, you're dependent on a bank. So, so everything that is not Bitcoin, you are depending on something. But what you are starting to realize with Bitcoin and having your own hardware wallet is that you will be financially free in the sense of you are not dependent on anyone else after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, and yeah, definitely an educational piece. And it's one of those things where I think, as you said, doesn't matter what the amount is they're putting in right now, just get started. And I think it's more so practicing kind of the good habits on a regular basis. And that's kind of what gets you to the goal you want, again, in that long term vision, that long term perspective.
Yeah. And I'm reading a book that is called The Bushido of Bitcoin. So the Bushido was the warrior samurai mindsets, kind of samurai philosophy. And it makes me think about your next book, your future book, where you want to resume in it some of the main philosophy of life, or at least the philosophy that you used. And that's also part of the journey of learning about Bitcoin. It's not just you're gonna get rich. It's like, okay, Bitcoin. If we assume that Bitcoin wins, it means that you're gonna be rich. But what kind of person you want to become? Because money will not be a problem. So we can spend time uh, thinking about philosophy and morals and all of that.
Yeah, that's perfect. And again, I think that's why in terms of just the philosophy and the approach of not just life, but also, I guess, your financial decisions as well, which goes back again to the psychology of money and how you view things. So yeah, I think it's definitely a very healthy approach, and I think one that definitely empowers you. Again, with education, it empowers you to kind of take that next step and be that a bit more comfortable and look at alternatives that are different from the traditional means.
Exactly. And also you can imagine what it does to your mindset and to your life and to your personality when you start taking 100% responsibility on an investment like Bitcoin. Like it changes you like from the inside. And so entrepreneurship, of course, makes sense with Bitcoin. Uh, Being responsible, being brave, being courageous, being responsible, learning, all of that, curious, questioning everything. Yeah, it really goes with the entrepreneur's ethos, I would say.
And on that piece, I remember I asked actually in terms of during the Zoom meeting last week, I asked, traditionally you're kind of taught with your investments or with your income, you want to split it roughly 50-30-20, 50% on expenses, 30% savings, 20% investing, or 30% investing, 20% savings. And the question was asked that what percentage should I be looking at in terms of maybe my Bitcoin versus my traditional means of investing? And I think the approach and the question, I think the approach, the answer you gave was fantastic, where you said, the more comfortable, the more education you have on Bitcoin and the more knowledgeable you are on it, the more comfortable you are to increase whatever it is that you're investing right now, or decrease if you feel it's not for you, but whatever the case may be. But for the most part, it was more so, again, that piece of accountability and, again, trusting yourself to do the research as well, not just the online gurus and what they're saying of what's popular for this month. And not just look at it from an investment perspective for now, again, the long term fix. And I think the breakdown you kind of gave, I think it's in one of your YouTube videos, is if you were to give X hundred a month, a good dollar cost averaging, what does that look like in 20 years, in 40 years? And when to consider compound interest as well. I think those are kind of the things that you look at and you're like, okay, so let me get my education now. That way I feel more empowered and equipped to take on maybe greater investments within the space.
Wow. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. When like it's really rare to have people understand this concept that fast. It's like it clicked for you. Like you have all the right um mental reflex. So yeah, you know that for the next few months, your priority is to increase your level of knowledge. Basically that. And yeah, that's beautiful. That's
I think for
amazing.
me, it was more, this is a bit more on my end, but during COVID, I was an Erasmus in Denmark. And I remember we're like, okay, we're going to have online classes. I said, what? Like, the concept made no sense to me. I was like, I'm going to go to classes. So I would literally spend 8 hours a day just researching stocks, forex, bonds. I was trying to get my financial literacy increased. Like I remember I'd go to bed, like I'd be in the evening, FaceTime my mom. My eyes were red and she could see it. She was like, what's going on? I've been on my screen just researching all day. But I never actually researched crypto because it was so volatile in that time. And there's so many gurus coming out. But so now I'm just thinking, what if I had started then?
No, no, no,
In
no.
terms of
Don't think about
what
that.
if I had
That you
education
can
then?
think about that, but yeah, yeah. I mean, there's also like a like we can talk another time about spirituality a little bit more, but there is also a component of yeah God's timing or universe
100%.
timing, and like I was
No, no,
not
I'm up
I was not
with
able I was not ready for Bitcoin 5 years ago, for example.
I wasn't
I was
either,
not.
I'll be honest.
That's that's just the truth. Like I wasn't. So yeah, it's good to have this to think in terms of
What
opportunity
if?
cost.
Yeah.
Opportunity cost.
No,
That's
and I think the point you made there is very important as well. that would you have been ready to accept the opportunities then, or would you have squandered them? And I'll be honest, I probably would have squandered them. And to be honest with you, so I think it's one of those things where it's like, I'm grateful for where I am right now. I'm grateful for the opportunities that the meetings, the one-to-ones, the community have presented,
Yeah.
and the learning opportunities have come my way as well. So I think now I'm in the right space, I'm in the right time to kind of pursue this forward.
Yeah, right place, right time. Let's finish on that one. Thank you, my brother.
Sure.
Thank you. I'm just gonna get the recording.